going on, guys? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys another episode of our Road to Masterball Rank series where I climb the online VGC ladder with some fun Pokemon and hopefully get to Masterball Rank. I know this series has kind of taken a bit of a backseat as I've done a lot of competitive battling, but not on the channel because I've been preparing for Dallas, Texas Regionals. But we will be bringing back our Masterball series very soon as Texas is over, so look forward to that. Today's team, very simple team. You've probably seen a lot of these Bronzong, Rhyperior teams. I'm going to run that. I've also got Indeedee Hawlucha, but also Indeedee HATTERENE is really cool. And then I'm going to run Dhelmise as well, just like a really offensive grass and ghost type that I think is fun. So that's the team, very simply put. Be sure to hit that like button down below if you're watching after the fact. And subscribe if you guys are new. I'm here with the aDrive Army live on Twitch. So we've got some awesome people here. So let's go to ranked. I haven't done ranked in a while, so I don't even know where we're ranked at. I've actually been ranking on another account. Wait, I really have only played 4 games. So I actually have been ranking on another account. So, you know, got to keep it on the DL, you know. So we're 9. We're about to hit Ultra Ball, so that's fine. Let's grab this team. Everything's got an item, which is a good start, and let's see how we do. We should be able to get to Master Ball much easier this time around since we've already done most of it, so we started much higher up. So hopefully we can pick up a couple wins in this episode and keep it going. Thank you, Interlude, for the 4 months, man. How's it going? And Bo Cure, thank you again for the 23 months. Let's see if we can do this, man. Let's do it. No stream snipers, all right? Don't be a stream sniper. We don't want any of that. None of that. None of that. Yeah, keep an eye out. WBE starting up. I'm going to be doing a vlog for Texas, which will be fun. So lots of good stuff going on. Definitely lots of good stuff going on. All right, so we found somebody. Let's see who it is. We got Jordan. Jordan, if you happen to be watching the stream, please mute the channel. Thank you. Jordan's got an interesting team featuring a Clefable, Roserade, Whimsicott, Rotom, Durant, and Hawlucha. I actually have yet to see a couple of these Pokemon. I need to make sure that I can deal with the Durant. I think that's like one of the biggest issues. I don't necessarily see how my opponent stops Trick Room outside of their own Trick Room on Whimsicott. So that's something very worthwhile to note. So we could potentially take advantage of that. I really want to make sure that I can deal with the Durant because that's one of the bigger threats. So I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to just go with the HATTERENE and Indeedee lead. That's going to give me a really fast option that can do a lot of damage. I really like Rhyperior as a Dynamax option here. I think it could be really strong because of just how offensive it can be, and there's a few things that can pop that weakness policy. But I also like Dhelmise too, especially because of the Rotom. So I think we're going to try to use that in Rhyperior, and I'm just going to go all in on trying to set Trick Room with Indeedee and HATTERENE. So let's see how that goes. Durant, a very, very big threat, which is particularly one of the reasons why I'm going to rock the HATTERENE set this time around. But we're going to have to make a decision in-game on which our Gigantamax is, or Dynamax is going to be. So I think Dhelmise or Rhyperior are going to make the most sense. But let's see here. So my opponent's going to lead Roserade, Clefable. One thing we have to be very mindful of here is that Clefable can redirect with Follow Me. So that's something to be very, very mindful of. But I should be able to get up my my Trick Room here, hopefully. So that's, I don't see how this stops Trick Room, but I'm not super familiar with Clefable. So I'm just going to do a Follow Me, and we're just going to do a Trick Room here, and we'll see what happens. So we shall see what happens. But I don't believe my opponent has a way to stop Trick Room in this situation because Clefable doesn't learn Trick Room itself, and Roserade doesn't have anything either. So we do have to remember that we are the eject button on this set. So he's actually going to go with a Sleep Powder here and hopefully just Moonblast our Indeedee so we can get out of here. Actually, would be ideal situation. And going to Gravity, which is going to increase the accuracy of that Sleep Powder. But we do get our Trick Room up, and that was what we were hoping for. I kind of don't like just leaving Indeedee out on the field like this, but I think I'm just going to Follow Me again, and we'll just take some damage there. I'm going to Psychic into the Roserade slot here. This is a situation where my opponent can very much so redirect with the Clefable as they're going to do right here. There wasn't a ton I can do about that. This is going to force me to Psychic in the Clefable slot, which is still going to do a lot of damage. Like, we're still going to probably chunk it for like 60% right here. But we're going to have to take a big Sludge Bomb now because of that sleep. And we actually chunk it for like 80%. The Sludge Bomb's really going to hurt though. In fact, there's a really good chance it knocks us out, especially if we see a Life Orb. And it is going to just knock us out. We'll have to see if there's a Life Orb on that Roserade. We're not going to see that at all. So now I got to figure out what I want to do. I think Dhelmise is a good bring here. Dhelmise cannot be cannot be put to sleep with this Roserade, so that's a really nice thing, and can deal some big damage here. So we can at least try to get rid of something. Now, keep in mind, I am, of course, choice banded, so I do have to keep that in mind. But we can at least take on the Roserade relatively well. So not the best situation to be in. Indeedee's actually going to wake up this time, which is really clutch for us. This is going to allow me to get a very big hit off on the Roserade, so if it's not a Focus Sash Roserade, we are going to knock it out. My opponent does not actually go for the Follow Me. Anchor Shot is an incredible animation, and it is indeed a Focus Sash Roserade. So perhaps going for a Psychic instead of a Follow Me. He's going to land a Poison Point on Dhelmise. Things you never see. That's actually hilarious. The Moonblast is going to hit the Indeedee, which is mildly annoying because now I'm forced out with my eject button. And now this Roserade is primed to actually kind of wreck me right now. So this may not go as planned. Highlander, thanks for the prime. If he goes for the Leaf Storm, I'm in a lot of trouble. But he's going to Sludge Bomb, so that's the good news. This is a neutral hit, so it's not going to be super effective. But the Poison, going to be a bit annoying. Okay, so here's a situation where I actually kind of like Rock Slide. I have to keep an eye on my Trick Room turns. I have very minimal Trick Room turns, only 2. But Rock Slide will pick up a double KO here. And we could just Anchor Shot to do some big damage on something. So that'll be good. We don't have to worry about missing. So Dhelmise cannot be slept because it's a grass type. Powder moves do not work on grass types. It can't be put to sleep in this situation by the Sleep Powder. So thank you, Krajenki. So we're in a good situation to pick up a double KO here if my opponent decides not to switch. If they do switch, we'll put in a lot of pressure. So the Follow Me is going to come off here, but this Rock Slide should pick up a double KO. I do still have one more turn of Trick Room, so we're going to have to try to utilize that to the best of our ability. It's actually a Babiri Berry Clefable. And this will get the KO, and then the Rock Slide with Gravity will definitely KO the Roserade. We don't have to worry about missing. Again, Gravity is going to increase our accuracy. So that's a really good thing for us. So this should hit, no problemo, and it does. Very good. So this game, we don't know what our opponent has in the back here. I have one turn of Trick Room left. The Rotom is going to be very problematic because my Dhelmise is ticking down. That Poison Point was very annoying. And having the eject button on our Indeedee didn't really help us too much. Getting that sleep early was kind of annoying, and a few things could have gone better. But here comes the Rotom. That is going to be a big threat. And then Durant is actually the last Pokemon, so that's something to note as well. So I have a couple things I have to do here. So I think what needs to happen is I hate to actually use my Dynamax on Dhelmise right now, but I think I have to. So I think we're going to have to Dynamax Dhelmise here. Let me double check that we still have Trick Room. I have last turn of Trick Room. So we are going to Dynamax, and we are going to Max Overgrowth into the Rotom slot. And we're going to go for the Fire Punch into the most likely Dynamaxing Durant here. This is our last turn of Trick Room. There is still a way for us to win this game, but it's going to be very difficult because this Durant is going to be able to go for a Max Steel Spike into my Rhyperior, and I'm going to lose my Trick Room. So I need to pick up a KO here. It's got to either be the KO on the Rotom or the KO on the Durant. If I can get one of them to go down here, I think there's still a chance for us to win. If I cannot pick up either of those, then I think we're going to lose the game. So let's see. My opponent is definitely going to max something. It is going to be the Durant, I assume, which means that there's a very good chance that we can knock out this Rotom right now with our Max Overgrowth. It's going to be the Durant. That's fine. So I actually think that we can potentially live a Max Steel Spike. And we're going to do some very big damage with this attack. So let's see what happens here. So the Fire Punch comes off into that Durant. It's going to do a sizable amount of damage. It's very good. And then the Max Overgrowth is going to come off and do... We need this to KO the Rotom. So it's going to depend on the spread. I think this picks up the KO though. And it does. So that's pretty good for us. Now, my opponent is going to have the Trick Room ending here. We'll have to see if they're able to pick up the KO on the Rhyperior right now. But I'm assuming they're going to go after the Dhelmise, actually. Here comes the play in the Rhyperior. Will it pick up the KO? And it does. So now it comes down to, does my opponent have max guard on their Durant or not? They're going to get a defense boost. And I'm going to take some poison damage to their Life Orb. I'm going to get some health back. I'm also going to lose some health to Toxic. They're going to get some health back. Trick Room's going to end. The good thing for me is I have Follow Me and Indeedee right now, so I can redirect and get one more attack off. The question is, will I be able to do enough damage? I do believe so. I have 2 turns left of Dynamax with Dhelmise, so we're still in a position where we can pick up a win here. The only way, though, is if I'm able to get off a big max Ghost into this Durant slot. So I can redirect as my opponent's attacks with Follow Me here. Again, Trick Room is ended, and now my best play is to attack this Durant. I think Max Phantasm is probably my best move. It's 130 base power. It's going to be the strongest thing I can do right now to this Durant. Now, Durant does have a defense boost, and it might get another one with another Max Steel Spike here. So there's a chance that we actually don't pick up this KO, and we're going to lose the game. So we'll see what happens. It all depends on whether or not we can knock out this Durant with a +2, or with a Max Phantasm, with the Durant being at +2 defense. So let's see here. He is going to take Life Orb Recoil, and the Max Phantasm is going to come off. Durant is very physically bulky, but we pick up the KO and pick up the W. Someone in the chat mentioned that I should use Helping Hand there, but if I use Helping Hand there and my opponent attacked my Delmize, I actually lose the game. So Helping Hand was definitely not the play there. The proper play was to redirect. Trick Room had ended. So a very close game against my opponent there. Jordan played very well, but we ultimately kept focus on the end game and knew that if we can whittle down that Durant enough and put ourselves in a situation to knock it out at the end there, save our Dynamax, we were going to be in a pretty good spot. So GG's there. Thank you, Rasea, for the 2 months. And thank you, King Savage, for the 100 bits. Thank you. That's going to put us in a nice Ultra Ball tier as well. We'll get some 20 BP for that. It was very cool. So, nice. All right, pretty close game against our opponent there. Again, I kind of just threw this team together, so I don't have too high expectations. Here's a team with Raichu Gyarados, which can be very annoying because the Raichu can redirect those electric type moves aimed at the Gyarados, of course. There's also a Duraludon, Sylveon, Tyranitar, and Corviknight. So this is a pretty tough matchup for us because we can't really go for any electric moves if that Raichu's sitting there. I don't know, and we can't really set Trick Room because Duraludon, so I have to be really mindful of that. So I think our best approach here is actually to lead with our Bronzong rather, and try to set up Trick Room through Bronzong. So that's what we're gonna do. I really think Rhyperior is super good in this matchup, so we're gonna definitely utilize that. We've got the Bronzong. I think Indeedee actually is still pretty solid here too, believe it or not. Especially since we can stop the fake out pressure. I think we're gonna have to bring Rhyperior in the back. And then I have to figure out how do I beat kind of the rest. I think Hawlucha actually could be really solid as a late game sweeper. I also think Hatterene in the back could be really solid too. Delmize is good. I think I like Hatterene more actually. So let's try that. Let's see how this one goes. Let us see how this one goes. We got Zark. He's got a really cool background. Hopefully, Zark, if you're watching, please don't stream snipe. Thank you. All right. So I'm assuming Gyarados or Duraludon. Yeah, I was gonna say the Duraludon lead here makes a lot of sense. It's actually Sylveon Duraludon, which is fine. Bronzong can actually do pretty well here. So I think that we're okay to kind of work with that. I think we can definitely get Trick Room up. The Sylveon can Mystical Fire, and the Duraludon can max Dark Move into Bronzong, but I still think I actually live both of those. So we're going to just Trick Room here, and I'm going to go for a... I'm actually going to go for a Psychic, I think, into the Duraludon slot, believe it or not. I don't need to Follow Me, because Sylveon's going to attack with spread damage. Actually, you know what? Let's Follow Me on the very off chance that the Sylveon Dynamaxes here and goes for a Max Flare into the Bronzong. I don't anticipate that. I'm expecting Hyper Voice plus Dark Pulse here, but just to be safe. So it's actually Flash Cannon, not Dark Pulse, which tells me that my opponent just doesn't carry that, which is fine. Or is not Stalwart, I'm not sure. But we're gonna switch out here. I don't really want to take extra damage right now, but I think I'm gonna have to. This eject button on Indeedee is really not a good idea. That's what I've determined. It is not a good idea. Because here we're gonna take a Hyper Voice now, yeah. Which is kind of annoying, but you know what, we'll make it work. And that does so much damage. This is why we don't do that. That was a dumb switch. It's okay though. It is what it is. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to Bulldoze and Max Quake. Yeah, I think we're gonna Max Quake into the Duraludon. Yeah, making that switch was really stupid. What's in the back? I don't even know what they have. Corviknight. Ah, yeah, we're getting wrecked, dude. Okay, so I need to not have eject button on Indeedee. This is so stupid. Halo, thanks for the 5 months. How's it going? So I just got played here, and I'm probably gonna get wrecked by this Sylveon right now. So I think we're just gonna lose this one, take the L. I think eject button on the Indeedee is not very good. I will say that. Because switching into Rhyperior, you really need to get that free switch in, not switching into a Hyper Voice here. So good play on my opponent's part to switch out. Obviously, getting that hit off. I probably should have been a little bit more mindful of the attack I chose with them having a Gyarados and a Corviknight potentially in the back. But this is going to activate our weakness policy, but we're not going to get the hit off. And then this Hyper Voice is going to probably knock us out. So we're going to not be in the greatest spot here. I'm sure we're going to get Hyper Voiced. Had I Quaked the Sylveon, we've actually been in a really good spot. But yeah, we're going to lose this one for sure, because that Hyper Voice is going to knock out our Rhyperior. We basically just lost our Dynamax, and I'm going to get wrecked on this one. So props to my opponent. That was a really good switch and just a really bad play on my part in hindsight. Not the end of the world. Like, there's still a way to pull this back, but it's going to be very difficult to do just that. So let's see what we can do here. We're not going to just give in, but it's looking very unlikely. So we're going to do this, I think, and we are going to do this. They're going to Dynamax their Corviknight here, and that's definitely going to be game. There's no way I'm going to be able to knock this thing out. So, yeah, that was a really good play on my opponent's part. Just a pretty safe switch in there on the Max Quake. But really, the thing that made this match a bad match for me is the fact that I have this eject button and I switched in the Rhyperior. I don't like eject button on this team in hindsight. And that's on me, though. It's better with the Hawlucha. It's not so good with the Trick Room because you really can't afford to have that happen. It just puts you in a bad spot. And I'm going to get Mirror Armored on my special attack drop, so this is even worse. What's up, Enzi? How's it going, man? And they're going to get... It's a weakness policy Corviknight. I've actually... You know what? You just take this one. You could just take this one, man. You can have it. You can just have this one. Yeah, that's all you. You got this. I'm just going to run on this one, man. You won this game. That was decimation, obliteration, dude. Here comes the Steel Spike, though, but likely into the Bronzong. Yeah. That's crazy. That actually did like 60%. All right, well, I'm just going to take a run on this one. There was actually no way. I feel like you regretted the eject button on Indeedee last time. I know. That's what happens when I just like throw the team together, but I'm going to give my opponent the W. They made a really good play, but again, in hindsight, the play that I made of switching in Rhyperior there was just stupid. That was just a stupid play. I took 60% from a Hyper Voice from Sylveon. It's probably Pixie Plate or Specs. And you just can't do that. You know, my way to win this game was with Rhyperior. And I put myself in a bad spot so early in the game. So that's a really good example of really being mindful of what your opponent has in the back. Especially in this situation. My opponent had both a Gyarados and a Corviknight. Two Pokemon that are very good responses to Rhyperior. And when I chose my attack, I did not factor those in, right? Like, I simply was just like, oh, we'll just Max Quake it. It's fine. It's super effective. No big deal. And that was a really poor decision-making skill. Again, considering the Pokemon in the back, right? Like, you just some simple brain power shows you that there's two Pokemon that are immune to my Max Quake. Had I gone for, you know, Max Rockfall or whatever it is, I might have been in a much better spot. So let's see what we got here. We got Moo. See what Moo's rocking with here. We've got a pretty interesting team here, an anti-Trick Room team with the Chandelure, so I have to be very mindful of that. I think we're actually going to just approach this as anti-Trick Room, and we're going to run Hawlucha and Indeedee, and we'll try to set Trick Room for the late game. I think in this situation, I'm going to... I definitely like Rhyperior, and I think I'm going to Bronzong for Trick Room is probably my best bet. And not Hatterene. I think Bronzong probably does better than Hatterene does. So, we'll see what we got here. What's the point of using the eject button? So the eject button's great if you want to get something else like really offensive on the field. But it can also be really, really bad too. So Moo, if you're watching, please don't stream snipe me. Thank you. I always ask and just hope that people are nice, you know? 3 of the same backgrounds in a row, man. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? We got, let's see. Chandelure, Snorlax. Okay, So that's their anti-Trick Room lead. It's definitely worth noting. My focus here is I need to get rid of that that Snorlax. We cannot allow that Snorlax to beat us right now. The thing is a massive threat. My opponent may actually try to Trick Room themselves, though, in hindsight. That's something we have to really keep in mind. So just something to note. So we're going to take a look at what my opponent could have in the back. They're only fighting fighting immunities on the field. So we're actually going to just Swords Dance here, and we're going to follow me. Worst case scenario is the Snorlax ends up hitting my Hawlucha, but it shouldn't do too much. No, it hits the original target, Kasumi. That's why follow me, eject button, and DD is kind of weird. I feel like there are some, like, I like it on like Hitmontop and stuff, but my opponent's actually going to switch out the Snorlax, maybe predicting a fighting move in that regard. Here comes the Grim Snarl. And we'll see what this Chandelure is going to do. If it's going to Flamethrower, if it's going to try to Shadow Ball me. Hopefully Shadow Ball and they just misplay. We're going to get a Swords Dance off. And let's see. What do we got here? And here comes the Heat Wave. Okay, so that makes sense. So follow me, kind of a wasted option there, but the Heat Wave comes off. It's going to eject button me out. No problemo. And get me into, we can go into Big Rhyperior, I think. Seems kind of fun here. Alright, so now I have to decide what I want to do. I'm going to Dynamax my Hawlucha, I believe. And we're going to figure out how we want to approach this. I mean, I could also max my Rhyperior too and kind of go for a late game with Trick Room. Could be kind of cool. They had the Snorlax. I want to get rid of the... I want to get rid of that Grim Snarl, because it's going to start to try to paralyze some things, I think. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to max Airstream into that, and then I'm just going to go for the Rock Slide. Most of the time, Chandelure does not carry Energy Ball on these sets, but if it does have Energy Ball, I'm going to get blown back, I think. A lot of times they have Shadow Ball, Heat Wave, Imprison, and Trick Room, or Protect. So I'm going to guess that it does not have Energy Ball. Some of them are running it now to deal with Gastrodon and Rhyperiors. This is just a chance I'm going to take. So they're going to go for the Reflect here with the Grimmsnarl, which I'm not surprised to see. And I'm going to get a max Airstream off. Now, because I'm min-speed Rhyperior, we're not going to outspeed the Chandelure. But I'm still going to knock out the Grimmsnarl with that Airstream, which is nice. Maybe after 2 Airstreams, Rhyperior will outspeed Chandelure, but it depends on its spread. Like, it's a little hard to say. Most of them run max speed with Modest. Well, let's see if it does have the Energy Ball or not. Here comes the Heat Wave. Hawlucha's going to tank that pretty well. Hopefully no burns. And the Rock Slide, as long as we don't miss, we'll knock it down to Focus Sash here. Or close. Not quite, but close. Alright. And here comes Rotom. This is a Rotom Leaf. Or Rotom Mow, rather. So that's something we have to be very mindful of. I am in the middle of battles, honey, if you don't mind. Oh, you got Lily? Okay. So I have Bronzong in the back, so I think I want to get rid of this Rotom. I think that's a really big priority right now. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go over the Max Airstream. This is Reflect, but it should still do a lot. And it's actually just going to straight up bop the Rotom, so we take those. That's actually pretty good. And if we outspeed right now, that's going to be incredible. I don't think I'm going to outspeed. No, he's going to straight Shadow Ball into the Rhyperior. Curious if we live this. We do on 11 health, which is pretty massive. And we're going to get the Rock Slide off and knock out the Chandelure. Very nice. And I think my opponent has just one Pokemon left. And we have this very powerful Hawlucha sitting here. And my opponent still has a Reflect up, let's not forget that. And they have not maxed, but it is a Snorlax. So this is their max Pokemon. So I'm going to max Knuckle into the Snorlax. And I'm going to Hammer Arm into the Snorlax. And hopefully those two things will do enough. Now he's going to definitely max right now, so we have to keep that in mind. Oh, he's not going to max. I am blown away. Why did you not max? I have no clue. As long as I don't miss a Hammer Arm here, we win the game. I don't think my opponent ever maxed this game, did they? No, they didn't. Don't miss. 90% accurate. There's the berry. Yeah, unless my opponent thinks their best way to win is belly drum, but they don't have Trick Room, so Hammer Arm comes off. We do have an attack boost from that Max Knuckle, and that's going to seal the deal. So nice little W there against my opponent, who brought a pretty cool team. This just shows the power of Hawlucha, though. Like, we were able to get up that Swords Dance early game, and if you can get a Swords Dance up with a Pokemon like Hawlucha, it is going to outspeed pretty much everything, dude. So because of that, we were able to put ourselves in a really good spot, and Hawlucha just won the game right there. I mean, that was a 4-turn battle. It legitimately one-shot everything for the most part. So a couple good things to learn there. I think the biggest lesson in this episode was to look at game 2 and really be mindful of the Pokemon that are in the back of the field. You know, had I really thought that turn through, I would have played it differently and really been a little bit more attentive to what my opponent had in the back. But again, I think the biggest misplay there was having my Rhyperior come in and take 70% of damage, and Rhyperior was really my best way to win that game. I threw away my Dynamax in that game, and it cost us. So again, you generally learn more from losses than you do wins. We'll take it, though. Nice little episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode of our Road to Master Rank. Peace. Butterfree, go!